Fast intro. I got a radial arm saw from my brother-in-law, brought it back to my house. I didn't like the base and I wanted to strip it down and paint it, so I took all the parts off and painted it, and then I assembled it. Excellent. And the table wasn't big enough, so I wanted to make a bigger table, so I just kind of put it in between two tables and just, that's not gonna work. Let's build something. The plan for this project was pretty simple. I had a bunch of 2x4s left over, so I wanted to make a simple and quick extended table for the radial arm saw. First, I prepped all the boards by cutting them to length. Then I sent one edge through the jointer so I could face that edge down and make sure everything was flat. I used structural screws to attach the members. Now I know this is not the strongest connection, but I also wanted something that could be removed and disassembled if I didn't like the design. Then I cut out a box the same exact dimensions as the radial arm saw. This box will be installed a little bit lower than the table height so that the radial arm saw is exactly even with the rest of the tabletop. Now for the life of me, I can't figure out why I didn't film it, but I snapped a chalk line along the wall, and that's where these boxes are going to attach to. The good part about this is I didn't really have to worry about the front edge of the workbench at all. I only had to worry about the back edge and it matching up with that chalk line. Then I assembled the second box on top of the first one. Then I attached that second box to the wall. Fortunately, my jointer was about the same height as the workbench, so it helped me hold it in place. Once I had the back of the boxes screwed into the wall, pretty much the rest of the time was just adjusting the height of the front to get it nice and level, and then cutting 2x4s to support that top part. Now, I screwed those in from the side because the plywood that goes on top is really what is going to rest on those 2x4s and carry all the weight. So the boxes are more just there for structure. So this is what we have so far. The next step was to get some plywood for the top.
Nice tight fit there.
And now it's starting to look like a workbench. We picked up some 1/8 inch hardboard, and that's going to be the top for the workbench, so it can be like a wasteboard, so if it gets scratched or cut up or anything, that can just be removed and replaced. I started to make this cutout for the radial arm saw with a coping saw, and then I realized I had a jigsaw. That's a lot faster. Next, I pre-drilled and countersunk small screws for the hardboard so everything would be held down nicely but still not interfere with anything on top of it. Then I took a router with a flush trim bit and went around the edge and cleaned it up. Now the plan I drew up only called for one more support on each side underneath, so I attached those. And then I attached 2x4s running the long way underneath in order to make a shelf for dust collection. But that's a project for another time. And there we have it. The table still needs a couple of things. It needs a fence. Right now I've just been using some MDF that's nice and square and put it against the back wall, and that's been good enough for the minor stuff I've been cutting. But it really needs a proper fence. The shelf that'll go underneath will have some dust collection, and then that will connect up and attach to the radial arm saw. Then I'd like to put a piece of 1x2 around the outside just to make it look a little nicer. This project didn't take much in the way of time or materials, and it does the job. It's been holding up pretty well. So thank you so much for watching. If you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to, leave a comment. We'll see you next time.